What is death diving?
Okay, so you're jumping from a height, a platform, or a cliff or something like that into water. And in the air, you want to make it look like you're supposed to belly flop. And you want to hold the belly flop position as long as possible before you hit the water.
The whole idea originated as you're playing chicken with the water, right? So you take a big run up, and then you want to as late as possible. That's really important to death diving. Is you want to close. We call it into a shrimp. You kind of punch the water with your hands and your feet at the same moment. And when you close like that, it doesn't really hurt. It feels the same as if you land on your feet.
What got you into it?
If you run off the cliff and you have like a lot of height, that's how, yeah, you get like this flying feeling. And I don't think you get the same kind of flying feeling if you jump feet first. I guess a lot of people do it for the adrenaline. I also do it for like the mastery, because you can imagine it being, it's scary. It's really scary. So for me, I guess it's the feeling of overcoming my fears and show to myself that I'm stronger than my fears, I guess.
Where I'm at now in the sport and within the community, I know a lot of the best cliff jumpers and death divers and high divers, right? High diving being like the pointed toes and proper form technique type of stuff, like Red Bull does. And I think all of them give you about the same amount of adrenaline. I think it really breaks down to what your personality is like. Death diving, one of the judging criteria is actually based off of like how hype you can get the crowd on the platform and like how much attitude and swagger you have. I really enjoy the whole vibe of the competition, not just the actual jump.
It's more judged for the entertainment value than it is technique.
Absolutely. I would say if Red Bull high diving is the UFC, death diving is the WWE.
It seems like a little bit like you're supposed to make this difficult thing look like it's just nothing to you.
Oh, yeah.
I got this. I completely got this.
Already from when you're just standing on the top of the platform before you jump, you'll be like, just waving to everybody, chilling. You're not supposed to look bothered at all. Like, I could do this in my sleep every day. I'm not even scared. And on the inside of your body, you would be scared, but you're not supposed to show it to anyone because it's kind of a show sport, so it's part of the show. Just if you walk up to the platform and you look down and be like, okay, and you're tense and obviously scared, you don't get the same feeling like watching it.
The landing part of it, like, I could never quite tell watching some of the videos, like, how are you landing? Like, what? Because it's so quick at the end, I couldn't figure it out. Like, what are you trying to do?
There's 3 accepted ways to land a death dive in competition. The most common one, like I said, is called the shrimp, which you basically tuck your head down into your shoulders, you punch forward into the water, and you bring your legs up to try and touch your hands. So you try and close in half. If this is your hands, this is your feet.
Yeah.
You try and hit the water like that. The second way is called the bullet or the crusher. It's almost the same thing, but you basically protect your head with your forearms, and you kind of land like this, and you kind of crush into the water. That hurts a little bit more. You'll sting your arms, but it's louder and it gets a bigger splash. And those are 2 things in death diving competitions that the judges are looking for. And then the third landing, which is somewhat dangerous, and I really only ever do it in actual competitions, is the no-hander. It's where you put your hands behind your back and you just headbutt the water, put your head down into your knees.
And then you want to have a high splash as possible. And if you're gonna have it like perfect, you get up to the surface quickly so you can get like the rain of your own splash in your own head. And if it hurts, because it might hurt, no one's supposed to know, not the judges or the audience. You'll be like, woo, that's exactly what I meant to do. It didn't hurt at all. That was awesome. And you swim in.
Does it hurt?
Sometimes. It can. It's like asking if playing football hurts. Sometimes.
What's the most common injury?
Bruises on your arms and legs. I think the most common serious injury is burst eardrums, but when I say common, I'm saying that happens to maybe 4 or 5 guys a year, and there's probably 10,000 people around the world that death dive.
Do you get this sense at all that people are watching it hoping that somebody fails?
I mean, I'm watching it hoping someone fails. There's never a death diving competition where someone doesn't wipe out. The To people that are in the diving community, competition height for death diving is really low. It's between 10 and 13 meters usually, which is 35 to 40 feet. In the grand scheme of things, a lot of, high dives are done from 89 feet.
Highest you've gone from?
30.5 meters. It's 100 feet exactly.
What was that like?
Oh, yeah, I was so scared. Because I also had to jump. It was a spot with a lot of gap. That means I have to jump really far from my takeoff. So the takeoff is here and the water is like here. And underneath it's just rocks, which means I have to jump really far to get to the water. So I guess that was what was freaking me most out. So I was standing on the top of the takeoff for like 40 minutes, ready to jump before I actually managed to jump because I was so scared. And I was trying to hype myself up several times to be like, yeah, I'm gonna jump now. I just couldn't make myself start the countdown. And I was in the air for such a long time. I had time to think for so long. And then the impact came and I was like, okay, here goes. I don't know what this is gonna feel like. And it was totally fine. Like when I landed it, like all of my other like 20 plus meters has been less painful. No, it has been more painful, I mean. Because now I think it was so much adrenaline. I was so nervous. And I was like, wow, that was like nothing.
Do you think you could go higher?
I think so. I'm not gonna go higher just to go higher. Like I'm not gonna be like I'm gonna beat my record or something like that. But if I'm at a spot that is higher, I could tell from the impact of the 30 meter or the 100 footer that I can definitely like take more impact.
How popular is it?
I would say in the US right now, if you ask the average person on the street, maybe 5 out of 10 of them would know what it is if you showed them a video. Because it's pretty popular on like TikTok and YouTube. People have seen it before. But I would say maybe 2 in 10 people would, from the get-go, if I just said, have you ever heard of death diving, would go like, yes, I know what that is. Now, if you go over to Europe, especially in like Norway, every kid at your local pool is doing a death dive.
A lot of people do it in Norway. It's so fun if you go down to just like a swimming place during summer. All the little kids, no one jumps or dive anymore. Everyone just death dives. So it's like a big thing here. Everyone knows what it is. Most people have tried it. And it's growing so fast.
I think death diving right now is kind of what skateboarding was in the 90s. It was kind of something that not that many people were really into. But if you were into it, it was pretty cool. And generally when someone sees death diving, especially once it gets explained to them where they're like, okay, this is done intentionally, people usually get pretty stoked on it. I very rarely find someone that just hates it for what it is.